Well, Prime Capital has helped thousands of Canadian businesses over their 25 years. Um, how do our successful clients navigate economic uncertainties while maintaining their steady growth and profitability?
That's a great question, Justin. I think they're very thoughtful. The customers that we see that survive the ups and downs, and I have never been through more than a 3 or 4 year cycle in my almost 40 years of working in this industry that hasn't had change, economic turmoil. When when our clients were going through COVID, there were some business owners that had never been through an interest rate increase in ever their business career. Never in their business career had that occurred for them. And so they had never predicted what the impact of those cost changes on their business would be. Just like some homeowners who bought their home in a low interest rate environment and then all of a sudden were facing a renewal, that digs pretty deep into your household budget and your ability to do other things, to have choices. That reality is no different than a business owner where somebody is going through those dramatic changes and one of these impacts occurs and you don't have control over it. Those are macro events. You are a reactor to those events. What you can do though is be very predictive and be very, let's say, a little bit cautious, a little bit conservative, a little bit careful to look down the road into the future. And those customers that spend a little bit more time looking down the road and doing a little bit of acid testing, if you buy a house, what the mortgage company does is stress test your ability to continue to pay that mortgage. They don't want to lend to you only to find you in distress and unable to make the payment. The idea is the lender does not want to own your home. That is a last gasp scenario for them, and it's the worst case scenario. It's actually a failure. So we don't want to help clients go into a failure mode. We don't want to precipitate them into a place where they're going to be in distress. So the same thing that successful homeowners do, which is evaluate their expenses and make sure they're going to be well within budget and they've got a bit of a cushion for insurance, for groceries, for utilities. A successful business owner does exactly the same thing. They stress test their cash flow. They look at, in a worst case scenario, say all my clients didn't pay me on time. Say that I all of a sudden had to give all my staff a 10% raise. Wouldn't that be great? Say all of a sudden all my business expenses went up by 5 or 10%. How survivable is my business situation in those contexts? So that stress testing absolutely predicts better business survival than living in the moment. Businesses that live in the moment tend to be less resilient. They tend to have more crisis management, which is really stressful on a team. If your staff and your team are stressed, then everybody is going home feeling a little ill at ease, feeling like there may not be predictability. Maybe they're looking over their shoulder. It's not really a healthy organization to work in. What most people want to have is an organization or an experience in business, including the business owners, where they can go home and sleep at night. You want to be able to go home and sleep in your home knowing that the mortgage was paid and you're not going to be worried about having to find another place to live. In your business, you want to know that you've predicted your expenses, that you gave yourself a little cushion for emergencies. These are the fundamentals of finance, and the businesses we see that really thrive are the ones that spend a little bit of time looking down the road into the future.